Have you ever wondered, like, really wondered an AI could actually outsmart us?
It's a question that seems to be everywhere these days.
Right. It feels like with all these crazy, powerful AI tools like ChatGPT and Bard kind of exploding onto the scene, everyone's talking about it. And it's definitely something you've been curious about.
For sure.
And this collection of articles you sent over, it really gets into the heart of that whole AI versus human intelligence thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty deep question. And the articles you've got, they go way beyond just, is AI faster or does it have like a better memory? They get into some really deep stuff.
Like what?
Well, like, could AI ever be truly creative?
Okay, yeah.
Could it ever, like, understand emotions the way we do? And then, of course, the big one, the one everyone's worried about, could AI replace us in the workforce?
Okay, I'll admit, when you put it like that, it does make me think of, like, some pretty intense sci-fi movies.
Right.
But let's back up a sec before we get too carried away with the doomsday scenarios.
Okay, yeah.
I think to even start unpacking all of this, we need to understand what we're even talking about. Like, what exactly are these AI chatbots everyone's buzzing about?
Okay, so at their core, AI chatbots are basically computer programs.
Okay.
But they're designed to have these conversations that, feel remarkably human. And they use a few pretty fascinating technologies to do that.
Okay.
So one is natural language processing. It's often called NLP.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what allows the chatbot to, understand what we're saying.
So it's not just, spitting out these pre-programmed responses. It's actually interpreting what we're saying.
Exactly.
Wow.
They also use machine learning, or ML.
Mm-hmm.
And that lets the chatbot learn and adapt over time. So the more conversations it has, the better it gets at responding in a way that feels really natural. And then there's large language models, or LLMs.
LLMs.
Yeah, these are massive, massive databases of text and code that the chatbot can draw on to generate text that sounds like a human wrote it.
So, it's almost like a library that contains, almost all human knowledge. And the chatbot can just access it instantly.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is mind-blowing. So we're talking about things like ChatGPT and Bard, but are there other examples out there?
Oh, for sure. There's Microsoft Copilot, which is integrated into a lot of Microsoft products. And then there's Replica AI, which is specifically designed to be like a companion.
A companion. Okay, now that is getting into interesting territory. But it also kind of highlights something really important, right?
What's that?
Well, human intelligence, it's not just about processing information quickly.
Yeah.
There's so much more to it.
There's so much more. You're absolutely right. We're talking about, creativity, the ability to experience this huge range of emotions, our capacity for critical thinking, making judgments, our sense of ethics even. And
the articles you send over, they actually do a really great job of showing how these differences, they kind of play out in the real world.
Yeah, how so?
Well, for example, there was that article about the AI-generated images of King Charles's coronation after party. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. Those were wild.
They were surprisingly flawed, which I thought was interesting because it shows that, even with all of its processing power, AI can still make mistakes.
Yeah, that's a great example of how AI, at its core, it really relies on patterns. It can create impressive things, for sure, but when it encounters something truly novel, something it's never seen before, it can really stumble.
So you're saying those coronation images, they probably had details or elements that the AI just hadn't encountered in its training data, and that's what led to those glitches?
It's very possible.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like, that artist in another article, the one who was impressed by the technical skill of AI art, still felt like it lacked the
soul.
Yeah, the soul you see in a masterpiece by Da Vinci or Rembrandt.
Yeah, totally. Humans bring this unique perspective, a depth of experience and emotion that's really hard for AI to replicate.
But on the other hand, AI's ability to analyze just mountains of data, that's undeniably powerful. I mean, that article about how Amazon uses AI for personalized shopping recommendations, it's almost creepy how well it works.
Right.
Okay, so it sounds like we're already seeing some pretty distinct strengths and limitations on both sides. Do you think it would be helpful to, create a scorecard comparing AI and human intelligence across different categories?
Oh, I love that idea. It would really help us visualize those key differences.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see, we could look at processing speed.
Okay.
Learning ability, creativity, emotional intelligence, decision-making, and self-awareness.
Okay, I like it. First up, processing speed. I think it's pretty clear who wins that one.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
No contest there.
Yeah.
AI can process huge, massive amounts of data in a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Way beyond anything we humans can even fathom. But as we saw with those coronation images, faster doesn't always mean better. I mean, human intelligence, it excels at understanding context, picking up on subtle cues. And that often leads to more accurate and insightful conclusions.
So it's kind of like a trade-off, raw
Right.
speed versus nuanced understanding. What about learning? AI seems to be learning incredibly fast these days. How does that compare to the way we learn?
It's interesting because AI and humans actually learn in very different ways.
Really?
Yeah. AI learns through data. Like the more data it's given, the better it gets at a particular task. Humans, we learn through experience, through trial and error, interactions with other people. We also have this remarkable ability to grasp abstract concepts
Yeah.
and then apply that knowledge to totally new situations.
So you're saying AI might be able to process mountains of data, but it's still limited by what it's been trained on.
Yeah.
And humans, we can make these intuitive leaps and connect seemingly unrelated ideas in a way that AI can't quite grasp yet, which brings us to creativity.
Exactly. And this is where things get really interesting because AI can generate some pretty amazing things.
Yeah, it can.
But if you look closely, it's often based on patterns and styles that already exist.
Yeah.
It's good at, remixing, recombining, but true originality, that spark of something genuinely new, that still seems to be like a uniquely human quality.
It's like that artist said, AI art felt impressive from a technical standpoint, but it didn't have that soul of a human masterpiece, okay? Which leads us to something that feels like a huge difference. Emotions.
Absolutely. And this is where the limitations of AI become really apparent. It can simulate emotional responses, based on its programming.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually experience emotions the way we do. It can't feel joy, sadness, empathy, compassion. It's like, the difference between reading about a delicious meal and actually tasting it.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And that lack of genuine emotional intelligence, it has some pretty big implications, especially when we think about fields like healthcare or education or even customer service, where human connection is so important. It's easy to imagine an AI giving you information,
Right.
but it's harder to imagine it offering genuine comfort or understanding.
Totally. And, this ties into another crucial area, decision-making.
Right.
Because AI is all about logic and algorithms. It thrives in these situations with clear-cut rules and predictable outcomes. With human decision-making, it's way more nuanced. We factor in not just logic, but intuition, our understanding of right and wrong, sometimes even gut feelings. We weigh the potential consequences of our choices, and we make judgments based on our values and principles.
It's like AI is playing a game of chess, while humans are navigating this complex social and emotional landscape. Speaking of which, self-awareness feels like a key differentiator. I think it's safe to say AI, at least for now, isn't self-aware the way humans are.
You're absolutely right. AI doesn't have a sense of self. It doesn't have consciousness, introspection, or even an understanding of its own existence in the world. Human self-awareness, on the other hand, is deeply connected to our sense of identity, our purpose, our relationships with others. It lets us reflect on our experiences, learn from our mistakes, and make choices that are aligned with our values.
So even with all of its impressive capabilities, AI still falls short when it comes to those distinctly human qualities: creativity, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. Now, before we jump into what the future might hold, I think it's important to acknowledge that AI does have some undeniable advantages.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Right.
Yeah, AI brings a lot to the table, and recognizing its strengths is, key to having a balanced conversation about its role in our lives.
Okay, so let's explore those advantages. What are we looking at?
Well, first and foremost, AI's processing speed and efficiency are just mind-blowing. Imagine analyzing mountains of data in milliseconds.
Yeah.
It's something we humans can't even fathom. It makes AI incredibly powerful for any task that involves rapidly crunching numbers or automating these complex processes.
Oh, that reminds me of those customer service chatbots you find online. They're always available, instantly answering your questions, and they can handle tons of inquiries at once.
Yeah.
That 24/7 availability, that's another huge advantage, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, businesses can depend on AI systems to run around the clock.
Yeah.
No breaks, no vacations.
Right.
They're perfect for things like customer support, data analysis, even creating content.
Wow.
That constant availability means increased efficiency, increased productivity. which can be a game changer for a company's bottom line.
And speaking of the bottom line, the cost effectiveness of AI, that's got to be a major factor for businesses. I mean, AI systems can handle certain tasks that would normally require like a whole team of humans.
Oh, yeah.
Leading to some like big savings in the long run. It's no wonder companies are like incorporating AI into their operations more and more.
You're hitting on all the key points.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting advantage AI offers. So AI operates based on data and algorithms.
Right.
So theoretically, it could actually help us make more objective decisions.
Okay.
Free from those unconscious biases that we humans sometimes bring to the table.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. This could be really valuable in areas like hiring, loan approvals, even medical diagnoses. You know, where fairness and objectivity are crucial.
That's a really compelling point. Of course, we have to remember that the data used to train AI can reflect existing biases.
Yeah.
But the idea that AI could help us make decisions based purely on facts, that's pretty exciting. So let's recap. We've got speed, efficiency, availability, cost effectiveness, and the potential for more objective decision making. That's quite the list of advantages for AI.
It is. But as we discussed earlier, AI also has its limitations.
Right.
So now let's turn our attention to the strengths of human intelligence.
Okay.
Those qualities that make us uniquely human and absolutely vital in a world that's increasingly shaped by AI.
Okay, if we're talking about like uniquely human qualities, I think we have to start with emotional intelligence.
100%.
Right, that ability to not only understand our own emotions, but also to read and respond to the emotions of others. That's something AI just can't replicate.
You're so right. Human empathy, compassion, the ability to form genuine connections with other people. Those are incredibly valuable, especially in fields like counseling, social work, healthcare, leadership. I mean, these are areas where AI, for all its processing power, just can't match the depth of human interaction.
I mean, think about it. The difference between like chatting with a chatbot online and having a deep, meaningful conversation with a close friend.
Right.
They're totally different experiences. AI can give you information, it can complete a task, but it can't offer that emotional support and understanding that we as humans crave.
Absolutely. And then there's that incredible realm of creativity and innovation.
Yeah.
Areas where human intelligence really shines. While AI can, create things based on patterns it's learned, it struggles with genuine originality, those sparks of inspiration that lead to real breakthroughs.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Groundbreaking works of art, music, literature, scientific discoveries, these are all products of human imagination, our unique way of looking at the world.
And it's not just about creating something new, it's about problem solving, thinking outside the box, adapting to unexpected situations. I mean, humans have this incredible ability to learn from experience and then apply that knowledge in these like flexible and creative ways.
Exactly. That ability to think critically, to adapt to new challenges, that's what allows humans to thrive in these complex and ever-changing environments. It's what enables us to question assumptions, to challenge the status quo, to come up with innovative solutions to problems that AI might not even recognize.
It's like we have this like internal radar that helps us navigate a world that's constantly shifting. Okay, so this brings us to another vital strength of human intelligence, our moral compass, our ability to actually reason about right and wrong.
Oh, that's huge. AI, it operates based on logic and data. But it lacks that inherent understanding of ethics and justice that guides human behavior.
Yep.
We can grapple with ethical dilemmas, consider the impact of our actions on other people, and make decisions that are actually aligned with our values, even when those decisions are difficult.
It's like AI is following a set of rules while humans are trying to figure out what the right rules should be in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's a really important distinction. I mean, it underscores how essential human oversight is in the development and use of AI. I mean, we need to make sure these powerful tools are being used ethically, responsibly, and that the decisions they make are aligned with human values.
100%.
Okay, so we've touched on emotional intelligence, creativity, adaptability, and ethical reasoning. Are there any other advantages of human intelligence we should highlight?
I think it's also important to acknowledge that humans, despite our imperfections, we're still capable of incredible feats of learning and problem solving.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we have this deep capacity for abstract thought, for critical analysis, and that amazing ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas.
We're not just data processors. We're storytellers, inventors, explorers. And artists.
No.
We have this natural curiosity that drives us to understand the world around us and push the boundaries of what's possible.
Beautifully put. And that inherent drive for understanding and exploration, that's going to be crucial as we navigate a future that's increasingly influenced by AI.
So we've looked at the strengths and limitations of both AI and human intelligence.
Right.
And it's clear that each brings some pretty unique advantages to the table. But the big question is, what does all of this mean for the future? Are we headed towards this world where AI replaces humans entirely? Or is there a path where AI and human intelligence can actually coexist and maybe even complement each other?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And it's a question that a lot of experts are grappling with right now. Let's dive into that fascinating and, let's be honest, slightly anxiety-inducing topic in our next segment.
Okay, so we've spent a good amount of time now talking about the superpowers of both AI and human intelligence. But now I'm really curious, how do you see these two forces playing out in the future? Is it going to be some epic battle for dominance?
It's funny you should say that, because the articles you shared, they actually point towards collaboration as being the most likely scenario.
Right?
Yeah, which I think is really exciting.
Okay, yeah.
Because AI has this incredible potential to enhance our capabilities.
Yeah.
In ways we're only just beginning to imagine.
What kinds of things are you thinking about?
Well, what if AI could handle all of those, repetitive, data-heavy tasks that, kind of bog us down all the time?
Yeah.
And that would free us up to focus on work that's more creative, more strategic, more fulfilling.
Okay, I have to admit, the idea of an AI assistant handling all my emails and scheduling my appointments so I can actually spend more time brainstorming and connecting with people, that sounds pretty amazing.
Right. And it's more than just saving time. AI can also analyze these massive data sets and uncover insights that would be impossible for us to find on our own. I mean, this could revolutionize fields like healthcare, finance, urban planning, leading to, more informed decisions, more effective solutions.
It reminds me of that article about Amazon's recommendation system. I know, it sounds a little creepy how accurately it predicts what I might want to buy, but I can't deny it's super convenient.
That's a great example of how AI can anticipate our needs and personalize our experiences. And that personalization can extend to other areas too.
Like what?
Well, imagine AI tailoring educational materials to each student's learning style and pace, or helping doctors develop personalized treatment plans, based on a patient's unique medical history. I mean, the possibilities are pretty remarkable.
So AI could be our partner in a way,
Yeah.
helping us to be more efficient, insightful, and creative. But I know a lot of people are worried about AI taking their jobs. Is that a legitimate concern?
Well, it's understandable to be concerned about the impact of AI on the workforce. And it's true, some jobs will likely become automated. But the articles you shared, they offer a more nuanced perspective. They say that jobs that require emotional intelligence, creativity, critical thinking, and complex problem solving, those skills, those are going to remain in high demand.
So it's not about being replaced by AI, but learning how to work alongside it.
Exactly. We need to focus on developing skills that complement AI's strengths.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, imagine marketers using AI tools to analyze customer data. But they're still relying on human creativity for, crafting the overall strategy and the messaging. Or doctors using AI to assist with diagnoses.
Right.
But still relying on their expertise and judgment to develop, the best treatment plan for each patient.
It sounds like the future belongs to those who can embrace AI as a powerful tool, not a replacement for human ingenuity.
Totally.
We need to learn how to leverage both to create this world where technology enhances our lives without diminishing our humanity.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And this brings us to a final thought-provoking question for you all to consider. What skills and knowledge will be most valuable in a world that's increasingly shaped by AI?
Ooh, good question.
And what steps can you take to ensure you're not just keeping up, but thriving in this rapidly evolving landscape? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI and human intelligence. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.